Open-world games are about freedom and discovery. Instead of following one path, we choose our direction, our pace, and our adventure. They give us living environments filled with surprises, letting us shape our own stories in virtual worlds that feel limitless, alive, and always waiting to be explored.
Control.
Assassin's Creed Bloodlines brought Ubisoft's iconic franchise to handheld, letting players experience free running, stealth, and assassinations on the go. The game follows Altair as he travels to Cyprus, bridging the gap between the first Assassin's Creed and its sequel. For a PSP title, it offered surprisingly open environments with rooftops to climb, enemies to stalk, and missions that could be approached with some freedom. While not as massive as its console counterparts, Bloodlines captured the core feeling of sneaking through cities and striking from the shadows. It gave fans portable assassinations, and for many, it was the first taste of Assassin's Creed beyond the main consoles. Gangs of London was a true GTA-style sandbox designed for Sony's handheld. Players could freely explore modern London, battling rival gangs and taking control of territories. The missions ranged from shootouts to driving chases, giving the game a variety that felt ambitious for PSP. What stood out was the gang warfare system. Multiple factions fought for power, and you could approach missions in chaotic, explosive ways. There was also a free roam mode where players could ignore missions and simply cause havoc in the streets. While not as polished as Grand Theft Auto, it was one of the most open and ambitious portable crime games of its time, showing how handhelds could deliver real sandbox action. Monster Hunter on PSP was a phenomenon that defined portable co-op. Players entered vast maps filled with giant monsters to track, fight, and capture. It wasn't just about combat. Gathering resources, crafting weapons, and working with friends made the game feel alive. Its semi-open structure let you roam different zones, each filled with secrets and challenges. What made it special was the sense of achievement. Facing a massive dragon-like beast with only your skills and equipment felt epic. The game became a social experience with players gathering locally to hunt together. For PSP fans, Monster Hunter was not only a hit but a cornerstone of the system, proving that handheld games could offer depth, freedom, and replay value comparable to consoles. LA Rush was a flashy mix of street racing and open exploration. Players cruised through a digital version of Los Angeles, taking part in missions, stunt challenges, and high-speed races. Beyond the structured events, the game let you roam freely, exploring the city and testing your customized rides. The car culture vibe was strong, blending the energy of Need for Speed with free driving. It also leaned heavily into style, with flashy vehicles and over-the-top missions. While it didn't quite reach the popularity of Midnight Club, LA Rush stood out for its open city design, letting players blend casual cruising with competitive racing. For PlayStation 2 fans, it was a stylish addition to the era's street racing craze. Mercenaries delivered chaos and freedom in a war-torn sandbox. Players took contracts as a soldier for hire, exploring massive battlefields full of enemies, vehicles, and destructible environments. The game was unique because it didn't force one path. You could drive tanks, steal helicopters, or even call in airstrikes to flatten enemy bases. Each mission allowed for creative approaches, making the gameplay feel fresh and player-driven. Its faction system added depth, letting you work with or against different groups. What made Mercenaries iconic was its scale and destruction. Few games at the time allowed so much freedom to wreak havoc. It became a cult classic on PS2 and remains remembered as one of the most fun open-world action experiences of its era. Saints Row 2 was pure sandbox mayhem, offering a full city to explore and dominate. Players could create a custom character, take part in gang wars, and complete missions in outrageous, over-the-top ways. Unlike GTA, Saints Row leaned into humor and chaos. You could run wild with crazy weapons, ridiculous vehicles, and wild side activities. The customization was ahead of its time, letting you shape your character's style, voice, and even personality. Beyond the main story, the freedom to mess around in the city gave the game endless replay value. For PS2 fans, Saints Row 2 was one of the most entertaining open-world crime games, a title that embraced fun over realism and carved its own place in the genre. Stuntman blended driving with cinematic action. Instead of traditional racing, you played as a Hollywood stunt driver, performing daring chases, jumps, and crashes for film shoots. Each level was designed like a movie set, with open driving areas that gave freedom in how you executed stunts. Timing and precision were key, making the gameplay tense and rewarding. While it wasn't a typical open-world game, the creativity and missions gave it a sandbox feel. Players could experiment with different driving styles and approaches. Stuntman stood out because it made driving exciting in a fresh, cinematic way, turning every level into a chaos.